Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and Creative Assembly have just provided a Let's Play of ZHATAN the Black. We are finally at the end of all the CA related Let's Plays for all these legendary lords, and soon enough my own content will start dropping on this. Remember that the battle stuff starts on the 31st, but until then we do have a few things to talk about, so how about we just jump right in and just see this, let it play out, see if anything is of interest, you know, the usual stuff. So we'll play and pause where applicable. This is a character I'm extremely excited about because I have a lot of connection with this character from way back in the day of my tabletop time. So yeah, let's talk. Okay, very cool intro, very dramatic, eerie, and so on. But the idea why I wanted to stop here is because of the Lamasu. We saw a bunch of animations, we saw how it moves around. It's actually quite different to the Lamasu of old, as the Lamasu of old was actually also kind of part bull, even had hooves. This seems to be more focusing on a redesign, because obviously it's using more of a, it's using actual feet, right? And I think that's actually kind of cool. Something very different. I guess Games Workshop has different plans for the Lamasu in the future. I'm more thinking about Warhammer the Old World here, as I thought that the Taurus and the Lamasu would eventually have the same kit, as we know that's something that we know of when it comes to Warhammer. A lot of monsters share the same kit, but this might be different? I don't know. Still, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, ZHATAN isn't a happy chap, is he? I'm sure I left workers here. As my workers' efficiency is only 80%, I know something's wrong. Under the labour economy panel, I can see all of my settlements and how much labour I have in each. It seems I've run out of labour because new intake wasn't on. My home region of the blasted waste is overflowing with eager workforce. Let's do some shuffling around and get Blackwater back up and running.
Okay, a little bit more context regarding labour, which is very similar to the save mechanic, almost a carbon copy really. But yeah, labour as a whole needs to be evenly distributed, it needs to be in other settlements. This is going to be quite interesting, because I don't think with the Dark Elves it was so much needed, but definitely is going to be needed here, it seems, for the Chaos Dwarfs. Yeah, I kind of like this. It does mean that you're going to have to do a lot more management, but we've already seen with all the Chaos Dwarf mechanics, players are going to have to pay attention to a lot of the mechanics in place. Good thing is we can see some stuff visually, which I feel is very, very important on the normal non-windowed display, as this is going to make sure that we can keep an eye on stuff.
It's always a good idea to come back to this panel often, especially when you've got a big empire. Too many lazing layabout labourers will cause constant control concerns. So use them, misuse them, spend them on fast building, but make sure you don't have a great excess of them. With that in mind, I'll turn off intake for a few of my more supplied regions. That way, new labour goes where it's needed most. Now, you see, I'm not saying I hate my lesser downkin, but if they were all out of the way, I would certainly hate them less. Just imagine, factories as far as the eye can see, mines in every mountain. Beautiful. Let's take a quick gander at my current empire. Overall, I've gone for a very mine-heavy infrastructure, meaning I've built way more outposts than factories. and I've only built 2 towers as I didn't want to split my raw material spending too wide. But now I want to start using that raw material and have it turned into armaments. This means building factories. Lots of factories. Our totally not evil plan to build a massive drill is going well. I built the 2nd stage. I do have enough raw material for the 3rd stage.
Okay, so pretty good bonuses at this landmark, which I'm assuming is tied to the story. I wonder if it'll also show up in Immortal Empires too, even if it's not just like a story element, but just as a landmark, mostly because, well, landmarks are quite important, and a lot of races do kind of need them. The Warhammer free races do need a few more. This one would just be quite beneficial, because you can see the bonuses are really, really good, and it's definitely going to help out the Chaos Dwarfs in Immortal Empires, considering how big the map is, and likely they will probably have very little landmarks anyway.
But there's still a few things I want before I build it, mainly the Temple of Asut. While my workforce keep working their little fingers to the bone, we need to infuse the drill with some magical artifacts. I have one from a roaming dwarf army that strayed a little too close to me. They are now willing workers in my mines. As for the next 3, we have several options. There are 2 types of relic, lesser and major. You can attach any combination of 4 to the drill, but you could also use them for your own personal gains. You can see each one has different perks, and if you didn't guess, major relics give you more than lesser relics. You need to attach 4 to the drill to complete the quest, but you can get them all if you wish. As for me, I don't really fancy a sea voyage at this time, so Scavor's relic is out. Thungui is quite close and held by some nasty ogres. I could then push north up to the ancestral relic of Valia. Getting this one will prevent the champions and more from showing up in my final battle. As it happens, ZHATAN is right by Castle Drakenhof doing some raiding, so that's an easy win. I could then take a little jaunt to the west to claim the major ancestor relic of Rundi, meaning I won't have to fight the dwarfs of the Grey Mountains.
Okay, so this is very, very interesting. It seems that this is a very similar style to the Tomb King mechanic, you know, where you have to go get the Books of Nagash, but very expanded because you will either use it for story or you will use it for your own benefit. And kind of like this, it is something that we're already used to, so it's nothing that's too complicated. Obviously just improved upon a little bit, which is kind of cool. I do like the idea of being able to get rid of some factions from showing up from a final battle. This must mean that the final battle is going to be very, very hectic, and there's going to be a multitude of different factions attacking you most likely. So I wonder how this is actually going to work. Is it just going to make it easier and easier? I mean, that's going to be alright if you're one of these people like myself who like to do map completions. I really hope that this isn't a timed thing, which I doubt it is, because obviously that was a timed thing for the Realm of Chaos, the base game campaign, but I don't think it was for the Champions of Chaos. At least I only played it through it once and it was quite quick, and then I went into the Immortal Empires. But yeah, I kind of like this. Very different, very cool, very promising, very thematic. So yeah, shows that some interesting stuff is planned out for potentially future DLCs too, if they keep up with this type of stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's the game plan. So it's time to stake my claim on the Vamps and get my 2nd relic. I tell you, who needs a battering ram when you have a skullcracker? ZHATAN loves getting his axe messy, so he will charge headlong into the defenders on the wall, while Pitok will cause as much damage as possible with spells. I'll have my Bull Centaurs and Infernal Iron Sworn use the breach in the wall, which I have for completing the first military tier to the Tower of Zar. They will start capping points and causing just general mayhem. Time to move my army up, ready for when the Skullcracker breaks down the gate. That was fast. In you go, lads. rest is simple. Flood the city with troops, capture the points, wipe out any form of resistance, and it's game over for the Vamps. To get the relic, we need to occupy the settlement. Now, I'm gonna turn it into a factory, but I have always wondered, how good are zombies at mining? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Factory definitely the right choice. I'll take the relic and turn all of Sylvania from a vampiric hellscape to an industrial hellscape. I may as well upgrade it to a level 3 factory while we're here.
Okay, so outposts and factories can only rank up to level 3 even if you take up, say, for example, Castle Drakenhof. Which makes sense, I guess they just want the towers to be the main settlements, which, yep, that's cool. I kind of like this so far. I mean, this is turn 62, and we have to keep in mind that Creative Assembly don't tend to, like, play wide, but it looks like you are perfectly capable on expanding as the Chaos Dwarfs and building up a pretty decent-sized empire. We can see this here on the narrative campaign, so it will be the same for the Immortal Empires, I imagine, which is great, because we want empire building. It's not like, say, for example, the Champions of Chaos, where the faction doesn't really empire build. I mean, you technically do, but you're getting just a lot of minor factions. Yeah, this is great. This is great. This is honestly something that I was kind of worried about, because in lore there's actually very, very little Chaos Dwarfs, so I was worried that we weren't going to be able to expand in a big empire due to lore reasons, but yeah, this is great.
Yeah, don't think I don't see you there, Wagner. Karak Kadin would be an easy target for him, and as it's one of my few high-level factories, I don't really want to lose it. But I have a little trick I can utilise as the Chaos Dwarfs. All I need is money, labour, and a lack of conscience. I will build the guardhouse, then with my excess workforce I will instantly build it, rinse and repeat. Now that should stand against Pointy Tooth and his merry band of brainless followers.
Okay, so outposts and factories can only rank up to level 3 even if you take up, say, for example, Castle Drakenhof. Which makes sense, I guess they just want the towers to be the main settlements, which, yep, that's cool. I kind of like this so far. I mean, this is turn 62, and we have to keep in mind that Creative Assembly don't tend to, like, play wide, but it looks like you are perfectly capable on expanding as the Chaos Dwarfs and building up a pretty decent-sized empire. We can see this here on the narrative campaign, so it will be the same for the Immortal Empires, I imagine, which is great, because we want empire building. It's not like, say, for example, the Champions of Chaos, where the faction doesn't really empire build. I mean, you technically do, but you're getting just a lot of minor factions. Yeah, this is great. This is great. This is honestly something that I was kind of worried about, because in lore there's actually very, very little Chaos Dwarfs, so I was worried that we weren't going to be able to expand in a big empire due to lore reasons, but yeah, this is great.
Our second Lord, Zul, has been gleefully burning the Eastern Blast, providing us with a ton of labour and raw materials. I may move him south to help ZHATAN, but for now, he can continue to sack settlements and bring in more labour. They're not the strongest army, but the look on their little faces they burn settlements to the ground really warms the heart. And finally, I can introduce our newest army, commanded by the one, the only, Drakenhuman. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I think Mr. Bullbreaker will do. He will be marching north to claim the relics held by the ogres. Off you go on your merry way. And with that, we can end turn. Looks like Wagner wasn't quite put off by our garrison. Thankfully, we put ourselves in a position where if we sally out and meet him, we should be able to take him on. Good timing too, as it looks like Manfred was on his way to lend a bit of backup. I will bet all the workers in my mines that they will move on Castle Drakenhof the instant I move on. I'll move ZHATAN off using the underways to prevent attrition, build a guardhouse, and see what they do. I'll use the same trick as before and move some labour around. I'll need about 600 labour to get to tier 2, and if the vampires do decide to attack, that should give me a good chance at holding the city. Zul, make your way towards Prague. We should hopefully find lots of willing workers there. Mr. Ballbreaker, head towards the Mountains of Morn.
So something I'm pretty pleased about is that CA is on turn 63 and is able to have 3 pretty decent looking armies. There's a lot of variety there, there's some higher tier units. Yeah, this is great. This means that the economy for the Chaos Dwarfs is actually going to be fairly decent. Obviously, he does control quite a decent amount of territory at the moment. We can see that on the minimap over there. But yeah, pretty happy. This means that it's not going to be just all hobgoblins and laborers, which was what a lot of people were thinking about. They were too worried that it was just going to be mostly the lower chaff all the time. So yeah, this is great. I'm happy about this.
I can now build the Temple of Asut. Ooh, 10 turns is a long time. I may spend some labour to quicken that up, but not this turn. ZHATAN takes the tower with a decisive victory, giving me another factory. Ballbreaker will enter the mountains, and Zul, Prague is on the horizon. Right, yeah, here we go. We've been attacked by Ostland. Valiant defeat. Oh, come on. Well, you win some, you lose some. ZHATAN, back you go. Well, that's disappointing. A much easier fight than I hoped for. Let's just auto-resolve this one. Should I turn Prague into a factory? Yes. Yes, I should. More factory means more armaments.
So I've got a little bit of a question here. I wonder why the towers aren't getting made, because those are your main big buildings, you know, those are the ones that can get to tier 5. When you're taking big capitals, such as Prague, Sylvania, and so on, wouldn't it be more beneficial to make them actual capitals rather than factories or outposts? Obviously, I'm going to need time with the game to be able to do this and find out why, but I don't know, I just find it as a pretty weird observation.
And high quotas will work really nicely here. Ballbreaker keeps going north, crossing into Ogre territory, and I think I'll start on the drill now, as it may take several turns. I will also turn intake back on for the Blasted Wastes, and quickly build the temple. It puts my overall efficiency down a little, but it's easily sorted. We can send out a convoy to get some more labourers. This is like playing whack-a-mole. Having taken ZHATAN out of the tower, the Vamps has now taken that too. I think the Empire and Vampire Counts have this strange alliance going on that I don't know about. They only sacked it. Let's go ahead and take back Castle Drakenhof, and then time to clear out this area. Zul, you can head south via Kislev and attack the Drakenhof Conclave from the north. Mr. Ballbreaker, kill those ogres and get our 3rd relic. Let's do some quick mopping up. DJ, give me some music.
just stopping here to say, goddamn, that was phenomenal editing. That made me feel like when we saw the first trailer for Warhammer 1, essentially, this was great. This was really, really cool. So stylized. I really hope we see more of this in the future. Because, yeah, this type of stuff takes a little longer, but that was so worth it. That was just visually impressive to see.
Well, that was an ordeal. We won, we lost, we loved, we stabbed vampires through their hearts. Several turns later, I have secured Sylvania and crippled Ostland. Mr. Ballbreaker has been killing ogres, but he has taken a bit of a beating of his own. Time to pull him back and regroup. Now ZHATAN and Zul have pacified this area, ZHATAN can march south to claim the major ancestor relic of Grundy, and Zul can head over and continue claiming Ostland.
Yeah, empire building is going to be very possible with the Chaos Dwarfs. Here we are, turn 87. You can see on the campaign map, on the mini-map on the side. Yeah, you've got a pretty big empire here. This is great. This is honestly really, really exciting. Because what I was thinking is when the campaign embargo drops, when I can start actually playing campaign and so on, I was thinking of doing one full stream and just, well, not one full stream, but same stream multiple days, and seeing how long it takes to actually just take over the full world map. Think that might be kind of fun as the Chaos Dwarfs? Let me know what you guys think about that.
And when Mr. Ballbreaker is back up to full strength, he can start raiding Ogrelands again. Before we jump into this battle, let's take our army from a 10 to an 11. The reason why I wanted to pump out so many armaments is so I can give my troops the most amount of buffs possible. The more buffs I give, the greater my armament upkeep will be. And this is multiplied by the amount of that certain unit I have across all my armies. Now you can see why I need a very healthy armament production line.
Oh wow, so you can just keep stacking these bonuses. This is this is pretty strong. You're going to need a lot of armaments, and obviously there is upkeep per unit. But if you can find a way to just get a lot of armaments, again, exploits could exist. Keep in mind that this is a total war game after all, so it is kind of easy to find exploits. But that is freaking insane. I'm actually really, really excited to see how strong you can actually make your armies. This is pretty cool.
And with that, my troops are buffed up and ready to go. Well, this doesn't look too difficult, but you know there'll be reinforcements. Dowie folk do like their catapults and other things that go boom. I'm going to try a wide checkerboard formation with the bull centaurs on the flank. ZHATAN, Pituk, you know what to do. Worked out better than I thought. The bull centers can mop up some of the stragglers. Alright, here's the real force. I need to take out those catapults as soon as I can. Oh, and gyrocopters. ZHATAN can deal with them while Pituk can start destroying the catapults. I'll just wait for them to fall behind the rest of the army before I move in. And there we go. Pituk took a little beating, but not too bad. And with that, my collection of relics is done. We have reached our goal. Now we have our final battle. But you may notice, I have a 5th relic. I secretly sent Mr. Ballbreaker up to the ancestral relic of Valia. As ZHATAN likes being in the fight, I thought I'd give him a shiny new ability to help him put those Dowie in their place. All that's left now is to jump into this final battle.
Alright, I'll end it here and let you guys watch the last if you want it. If not, you know, it is It doesn't have any spoilers. It just shows you a little bit of the battle anyway. I just had to check out just in case. But yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty excited. I like the idea of the campaign narrative. Like I've said, you should at least play these types of DLCs once on the Realm of Chaos map, get the narrative out of the way, and then go full Immortal Empires. I know most of you want to go directly into Immortal Empires, but the story is generally decent. It's actually quite well written. The Champions of Chaos story was really, really good. The campaign was actually quite enjoyable, and I'm imagining that this is going to be the same way, right? I'm imagining it's going to be the same way because the DLC team has proven time and time again that they are very good at creating content. So yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like this is going to be a decent DLC. I don't know just yet, but yeah, this seems promising. This seems very, very, very promising. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll start a bit of a discussion. I want to know what you guys think about the narrative points. I like the element of choice. Either you get the item or you use it for your drill. I think that's actually pretty cool because an element of choice will allow for a little bit of replayability. Not that the Realm of Chaos map gets played often. And a little spoiler warning, so you can stop here if you want to. It's not really a story spoiler, but yeah, the final battle is a survival battle, which, yeah, kind of cool. I mean, at the end of the day, survival battles are kind of fun if used well and not in a whole, you know, claiming the demon souls scenario. And another note is, every time he kept saying ball breaker, I could have sworn he was saying ball breaker constantly. But hey, maybe it's just because I'm tired. But yeah, guys, see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.